At 75, Victoria Principal has reached a place of reflection, honesty, and emotional clarity. Known to millions as the elegant and strong Pamela Barnes Ewing from Dallas, she has spent decades guarding her private life with dignity. Yet one chapter, long whispered about, speculated upon, and never fully explained, has remained especially close to her heart: her relationship with Andy Gibb. For years, their romance was remembered as a glamorous Hollywood pairing, but behind the headlines was a deeply human story of love, hope, struggle, and loss. Now, with time as her ally, Victoria speaks not to reopen wounds, but to honor a truth she once kept silent. This is not a tale of scandal, but of compassion. Not of regret, but of understanding. It is the story of a woman who loved deeply, let go painfully, and carried the memory quietly for a lifetime. A worldly beginning, childhood without roots. Victoria Principal was born Vicky Ree Principal on January 3, 1950, in Fukuoka, Japan, where her father was stationed as a sergeant in the U.S. Air Force. Her birthplace foreshadowed a childhood defined by movement rather than permanence. With a disciplined Italian-American father and a gentle English mother, Victoria grew up absorbing structure and sensitivity in equal measure. Military life meant constant relocation. Japan, England, Puerto Rico, Florida, Georgia, Massachusetts, each place adding another layer to her identity. By her own accounts, she attended at least 17 schools, learning early how to adapt, observe, and stand on her own. While the instability made lasting friendships difficult, it nurtured resilience and independence. Victoria learned to read people quickly, trust her instincts, and remain composed in unfamiliar environments, skills that would later serve her well in both Hollywood and life. Discipline and dreams, from ballet to medicine. Among her many relocations, one formative chapter stood out: her time studying at London's Royal Ballet School. The institution's demanding standards instilled discipline, body awareness, and emotional control, even though ballet would not become her career. After graduating from South Dade Senior High School in Florida in 1968, Victoria made a surprising choice. She enrolled in a medical program at Miami-Dade Community College. Drawn by a desire to heal and help others, she approached medicine with seriousness and dedication. However, fate intervened when she suffered a serious accident during her studies. The months of recovery that followed became a period of deep introspection. Confronted with vulnerability and uncertainty, Victoria reassessed her path. Medicine, though noble, no longer felt right. Acting, the dream she had quietly carried since childhood, called her back with undeniable clarity. Choosing the stage, the making of an actress. Following her recovery, Victoria moved to New York City and immersed herself in acting and modeling. She worked relentlessly: commercials, runway work, auditions, while sharpening her craft through formal training. Determined to be taken seriously, she studied at the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art in London and under private acting coach Gene Scott. Her dedication paid off in 1972 when she made her film debut in The Life and Times of Judge Roy Bean, holding her own opposite Paul Newman. The role earned her a Golden Globe nomination for Most Promising Newcomer, validating her risky career shift. While early projects like The Naked Ape and Earthquake brought mixed results, they strengthened her resolve. Disillusioned but not defeated, she briefly stepped away from acting, only to return stronger, more focused, and ready for destiny's next door: Dallas and stardom. Becoming an icon, that door opened in 1978 when Victoria accepted the role of Pamela Barnes Ewing on Dallas. The series became a global phenomenon, and Victoria instantly became a household name. For 9 seasons, she portrayed Pamela with emotional depth and strength, earning worldwide admiration and a Golden Globe nomination for Best Actress in a Drama Series. Fame brought financial success, but also intense pressure. While audiences saw glamour, Victoria balanced long filming schedules, public scrutiny, and growing personal responsibilities. Yet Dallas gave her something lasting: confidence, independence, and a platform she would later use to build businesses and pursue philanthropy. By the mid-1980s, she was no longer just an actress. She was a symbol of intelligence, grace, and self-determination in an industry that often offered women little control. Love and lessons, marriage and independence. Victoria's personal life unfolded alongside her career. Her first marriage to actor Christopher Skinner in 1978 was brief, ending in divorce 2 years later. The experience taught her the importance of compatibility and independence. In 1985, she married plastic surgeon Dr. Harry Glassman. Their 20-year marriage was stable and private, marked by mutual respect and shared ambition. During this time, Victoria launched Principal Secret, becoming one of the first actresses to successfully build a skincare empire. Despite their longevity, the marriage ended amicably in 2006. Victoria chose not to remarry or have children, stating openly that motherhood was not her calling. Her life choices reflected clarity, not regret, a woman comfortable defining happiness on her own terms rather than society's expectations. Andy Gibb, Love at Full Intensity. In 1981, Victoria met Andy Gibb at the height of both their careers. She was television royalty. He was a global pop sensation, the youngest brother of the Bee Gees with chart-topping hits and a magnetic presence. Their connection was immediate and electric. Andy was drawn to Victoria's strength and grounding nature, while she was captivated by his vulnerability and charm. Publicly, they appeared to be Hollywood's golden couple. Privately, their relationship was intense, passionate, and emotionally consuming. Andy's struggles with cocaine addiction cast a growing shadow. Victoria, disciplined and health-conscious, tried to help, believing love might be enough. But as addiction tightened its grip, she faced an impossible truth. Staying could enable his destruction. Loving him meant letting him go. Walking away, love that hurt to leave. Deciding to end the relationship was one of the hardest moments of Victoria Principal's life. She has since said she never stopped loving Andy, but she loved him too much to watch him disappear. Leaving was an act of survival, not abandonment. She hoped it might push him toward recovery. Instead, Andy's career and health declined. On March 10, 1988, he died at just 30 from myocarditis, a condition worsened by long-term drug use. The news devastated Victoria. Though years had passed, the bond remained. She mourned not only Andy, but the future he never lived. For decades, she kept her grief private, refusing to turn his tragedy into public spectacle. Silence became her way of honoring him. Speaking at last, memory, grace, and acceptance. Now at 75, Victoria speaks of Andy Gibb with tenderness rather than pain. She remembers laughter, quiet conversations, and moments of pure joy. She acknowledges the heartbreak without bitterness. He had a light, she says, but he didn't know how to protect it. Time has softened sorrow into understanding. She no longer asks what if, only what was. Andy remains part of her story, not as a tragedy, but as a love that mattered. In sharing her truth, Victoria offers compassion rather than judgment, reminding the world that addiction is not a moral failing, but a battle often lost in silence. Conclusion: love that never truly ends. Victoria Principal's life has been defined by choice, choosing courage over fear, independence over expectation, and truth over illusion. Her relationship with Andy Gibb was not a footnote, but a profound chapter, one that shaped her emotionally and spiritually. At 75, she speaks not to relive pain, but to give it meaning. Their story is not about celebrity, but humanity. About loving someone deeply and knowing when love must step aside. Andy Gibb remains a bittersweet echo in her life, a reminder that some connections, though brief, leave permanent imprints. And perhaps that is the quiet truth Victoria now shares. Love does not end when people do. It simply changes form and lives on in memory.